Greetings, and welcome to an in-depth walkthrough of Dropkick by JMG Sound, your creative 8-in-1 pocket knife tool for crafting impactful and robust kick drums. This plugin is designed with simplicity in mind, featuring 4 primary sections: the main section, limiter, presets, and 6 extra knobs tailored to provide dynamic and sonic enhancements specifically geared towards refining the kick's character. Let's delve into the intricacies of Dropkick, starting with the focal point, the main section. The main section is divided in two: phase and power. In the phase section, you can shape the character of the transient and lower the peak level by using analog modeled all-pass filters, creating non-linearities that make for extremely smooth transitions. Without getting into too much detail, an all-pass filter is a signal processing filter that passes all frequencies equally in gain, but changes the phase relationship among various frequencies. The more filters you select, the greater the phase shift, making the effect stronger and more audible. The frequency at which you set all the filters determines where the effect is more pronounced. The warp dial allows you to adjust the timing of frequencies. Essentially, it determines how much of the entire phase section will affect the kick. To demonstrate, I'm going to pull out a sonogram. The horizontal axis will display all the frequencies playing simultaneously, while the vertical axis will indicate how much and which frequencies are dampened or delayed over time. First, let's look at it without the effect. I'll max out the values to make the effect more visible, setting the frequency to 100 Hz. See how much of the 100 Hz frequency gets shifted? Now let's move on to the next section, the power section. The power section uses a high-pass filter to improve the low end. Although it might seem counterintuitive, professional sound and mixing engineers have been using this technique for years. By setting the filter frequency at the fundamental and adding slight resonance, you not only amplify the bass, but also eliminate undesired subharmonics. You have the flexibility to choose the frequency where you want to enhance or add resonance. This essentially increases the energy at that specific frequency. Additionally, you can choose the slope of the high-pass filter, indicating how much of the subharmonics below the fundamental are removed. The 2-pole option has a slope of 12 decibels per octave, and the 4-pole option has a steeper slope of 24 decibels per octave. There are 2 variations for each high-pass slope. The standard version is clean and precise, while the other version introduces a boost around the cutoff to enhance the bass. We've also included an option to turn the high-pass filter off if you want to utilize the resonant peak to boost a higher harmonic or for other creative purposes. The resonance dial empowers you to manage the intensity of the resonant peak. As you increase it, the fundamental gains power and definition, extending its impact. The special peak filter used here is extremely narrow, concentrating on a single frequency without needlessly boosting neighboring frequencies. To illustrate, I'll use a spectrum analyzer. Let's listen to the sound without the effect first. Now, I'll maximize the resonance dial to make the effect more noticeable. Now, let's hear what the different high-pass filter slopes bring to the table. If you are not sure about the fundamental frequency your kick sample falls into, you can click Detect, and it will analyze and set the fundamental frequency for both the phase and power sections. Take note that you can deactivate one section when necessary, or if you don't find the other one having any good effect on the kick. Also, if you want to preserve the settings upon selecting a new preset, simply click the lock button for both sections. It will grant them immunity to any changes after selecting a new preset. Now, let's dive into the 6 additional knobs you can use to shape your kicks. The first 3 knobs at the top add something to enhance the sound of the kick. Fire uses psychoacoustic algorithms to enhance the kick's sound. The low end is resynthesized and harmonically enhanced, while the mid and high frequencies undergo processing with analog modeled saturation, adding warmth and brightness. Over applies a dynamics processor based on an over-the-top compression technique fine-tuned for kicks. Snap enhances the attack and punch of the kick using an advanced transient processing algorithm. Let's listen to each one of them in action. The last three knobs at the bottom serve the purpose of subtracting elements from the kick signal to help clean and tame your kick. Clean suppresses boxy and muddy frequencies if present in the kick. It also removes unnecessary frequencies from the sub, offering extra headroom and ensuring the kick translates well in the mix. Damp removes higher frequencies while preserving the transient to cut through. It utilizes an analog modeled low-pass filter modulated with an envelope, allowing you to reshape the frequency content of your kicks. Trim shortens the length of the kick tail, keeping it tight and preventing boominess. Instead of manually creating fades to your kick in your DAW, here you can listen in real time and tweak a single knob until you achieve the perfect balance. Let's have a listen. Quick tip: if you're satisfied with the power level you've dialed in for your kick but find it slightly prolonged, adjust the trim to reduce the extension. This way, you can retain the intensity introduced by the power section while addressing any elongation. Please note that you don't have to use all these all at the same time. Simply experiment with each one and only use those that give you the best results. Let's move on to the limiter section. The limiter section grants you complete control and monitoring capabilities over both the incoming and outgoing signals of the plugin. The limiter has three modes. Clean will limit the peaks as transparently as possible. Warm behaves like a soft clipper with some gentle distortion. Hot heavily distorts the signal while hard clipping. If one of the limiter's distortion modes is selected, you can overdrive it to get super thick and aggressive kicks. And of course, the plugin comes with a set of presets, which you can use as it is or be a foundation or starting point when tweaking your sound. Just like the rest of our plugins, you can save your own presets for later use. So there you have it. Now that you have an idea of what Dropkick is capable of, I'll leave the rest for you to explore. Grab your 15-day fully functional trial version now at unitedplugins.com.